Independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will not be on New York's ballot if this ruling stands. He was kicked off after a judge ruled that his petition to appear on the state's presidential election ballot is invalid, claiming he used an incorrect address to maintain his residency there. Now, in response to the state Supreme Court Justice Christina Riva's ruling, RFK Jr. took to X, posting, quote, "This case is an assault on New York voters who signed in record numbers to place me on their ballot. The DNC has become a party that uses lawfare in place of the democratic election process. We will appeal and we will win." Now, the RFK Jr. has lived much of his adult life in New York, but moved to Los Angeles to support his wife Cheryl Hines' acting career. Per his lawyers, he's planning on moving back to New York after she finishes with that.
Tim? Well, people, what do you think? What do you think? They're after RFK. Did he expect for it to be a smooth ride? Hello and welcome. Again, I am Friend Shot Pearson and welcome to Friend Shot Blue. August 13th of 2024, 6:20 p.m. Let's say it together. Praise our God, from whom all blessings flow. Yes, RFK, did you believe it's going to be a smooth ride? No. Let me tell you why. It's coming down to the wire. I said it's coming down to the wire. In what, 6 days? 6 short days? The DNC will be right here in Chicago, of which I plan on attending in some way, form, or fashion. And about time that situation occurs, they don't want you to have too much of a sway. Do you understand, mister? And also, the polls show the momentum just begin to creep up most recently. That Kamala Harris is above all else and all challenges. Interesting, you might say. I would say if you asked a man on the street, no way, Jose. But you know how we do it, right? If I could give any advice to Mr. Kennedy, I would take a slice out of what happened, 3.5 years ago, hint, hint. See, these folks know they need some big numbers. Some real big numbers, some convincing numbers with a little help from their friends in the media. Now, I'm not saying, but I'm saying, look, it's the difference between wanting it and just got to having it. Yeah, there's a difference. And if it means allegedly we got to burn you through the law, then baby, that's what we're going to do, because we need New York and we need other states convincingly. So when this thing goes down to the wire in November, hey, baby, it's ours. That's just the way I see it, people. Ain't no friends in this thing. All is fair in love. That's what they say. Now look at this. He called it lawfare. I tell you, with all the terms we're using in this realm, lawfare. Does that just happen to come out to 47? Now, you know, there's a possibility that my man could be the sacrificial lamb. He just got to lay it on down, get on out the way. I mean, I'm sure, I'm just speaking because some folks might think like that, right? But it's a coincidence that lawfare comes out to 47. That is the word he used, that they're using the lawfare. I'm sure Trump is smiling, rubbing his chin, saying, well, brother, you know what? Welcome to the party. Because they had me in New York, too. That's the place where you can almost predict the uncertainty of it. And now it appears Mr. Kennedy's going through it. Yeah, you had a $500 residency in New York? The judge said that don't qualify, baby. 47. Who's trying to be the 47th president? Now check this out. This is what the officials are saying. Using a friend's address for political and voting purposes while barely stepping foot on the premises does not equate to residency under the election law. To hold otherwise will establish a dangerous precedent and open the door to the fraud and political mischief that the election law residency rules were designated to prevent. People, what do you think? And if you live in New York, if you have two addresses, hey, has it worked for you? I mean, I really want to know. I mean, is this an isolated case just because it's Kennedy in the election hour? Because if you live in New York and you've done this for a mighty long time and you've been able to vote in New York, have you had a problem? That's what I want to know. Check this out. We're going to hear from one of the attorneys from RFK, okay? Shall we?
Rules were designed to prevent. Here to react to that tonight is William Savino, a Buffalo-based attorney who represented and continues to represent RFK Jr. in this case. Thank you for coming in. Good to see you.
You're very welcome.
So
Thanks for asking me.
I read the 34 pages. I'm not an attorney. You are. Certainly, the facts as they seem to have been presented in the case, to a layperson, I think, would say, well, yeah, RFK Jr. lives in California. He doesn't live in New York. Why then did he say he lives in New York?
He said he's a New York resident, and he's particularly a New York resident for purposes of the 12th Amendment, which controls how we elect our presidents. And that law looks to something called inhabitant status. And he's an inhabitant of New York because he's always been adamant that he's going to return to New York as soon as he can. And that's the test constitutionally. But unfortunately, our judge, and we disagree with her, said, I'm not going to consider the constitutional arguments, even though they were in our papers, even though they were argued by me. She said, I'm going to decide this on New York election law. But New York election law is subordinate to our Constitution.
She does.
Wow. So we're going to have a little legal fight, look like we're going to have. And then the question is, will it ripple into other states? That's what I'm thinking about. Because look, we have, 80-some days. Anything can pop off. And you don't know till you try. And so when you see them commercials by Tim and Miss Harris saying chip in with a wink and a smile, you can see where your money going. Fight against this dude in hopes that they can get his numbers so they can beat Trump. Look, baby, that's how I go. I said, that's how I go. But man, what a dirty thing they're doing. And I put it to you like this. Let's say they go and do 10 to 12 states, a half a dozen. I don't know, a dozen states. And they win 7 out of 12. Well, that's 7 that they didn't have. And all they need is New York to kick it off. And like I said, you talk to Trump, he'll let you know, hey, you got to stay clear of New York. Straight up. Man, what a dirty pool. I mean, I heard about this earlier. I'm like, man, I got to do a video on this a little bit later. Because, hey, they're showing, look, it's for all the marbles, baby. What's the bet that New York with the UN, the World Economic Forum coming up with their meetings coming up soon, I think the 19th or 20th, something like that. And this election on the line, it's more than just a race for the president, people. It's gotta be. It's a lot of things on the line with this election. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, you got a lot of people who are unelected, a lot of corporations, big people. Hollywood went after Trump, I think it was yesterday. You have a lot of people that have vested interests in this 2024 election. This is what Trump is running up against. This is serious. And now we have these shenanigans allegedly. Your address don't qualify, and we gonna utilize election law. Were you guys shocked? Were you shocked? Oh, wait. All right, let's go here. Let's look at some of these polls. Now, this is from yesterday, okay? Then I have one from today. And this is what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, Miss Carmela, she eased it up. I guess that's why she ain't doing no interviews. Ain't no sense of spoiling the momentum.
Trump margin. This is May, Biden versus Trump. You see plenty of red on this side of your screen, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, of course, that quote-unquote blue wall. This was back in May. You saw Trump up by 3, Trump up by 1 in Wisconsin, Biden up by a single point in Michigan. The trend line here is what's so important. So let's jump ahead from May to August. We go from some red on this side of the screen. Look at all this blue on this side of the screen. Pennsylvania, Harris by 4. Wisconsin, Harris by 4. Michigan, Harris by 4. So you're seeing those comments on Trump on social media kind of going bananas, and you're wondering why. It's because he's looking at polling data like this, which shows clear momentum from Donald Trump to Kamala Harris as Joe Biden's got out of the race. I'll note still no clear leader up here, but you would much rather be Kamala Harris up by 4 within the margin of error than Joe Biden down by 3 in Pennsylvania, down 1 in Wisconsin, and only up by 1 in Michigan within the margin of error. These are...
Ain't that something? The 4 and the 4 and the 4. Well, we know Barack Obama's the 44th president. And we know that Jay-Z had that little crown of thorns on his head with the 444. But look at the momentum again, like you said, May to August. Man, I tell you, I mean, this is something else. I mean, in the nick of time, 6 days before the Democratic National Convention, what are the odds, people? What are the odds? What does Ixnay mean? I kind of want to use that word right about now. Ixnay. Somebody remind me in the comment section. What does Ixnay mean, right? Does it fit this? He said, it's going bananas. Oh yeah, it's going bananas, all right, because they monkeying with it, allegedly. Now let's look at this here. Today is the day that the judge made that ruling, August 13th of 2024. And this is election day, 11/5 of 2024. Why does the difference just have to be 84 days? Wasn't Barack Obama born on August 4th? I know y'all tired of hearing me say that, but look, I don't make the situations. I just report on them. Seems to be a trend there. When you say it's a trend there, and the trend's not stopping. 84. Something to ponder. But check this out. If you take the election day itself, 11/5 of 2024, and subtract it from 8/13, wait a minute, did I just do that? 11/5, 8/13? Yeah, I just did that. So let's go to this one. I am all over the place. Here it is here.
We're back with the
I want you
2024.
to listen to this last one, because I found this one very, very, very interesting. You know why? Because this just came up 2 hours ago, actually an hour ago, and it freaked me out. It really did. It really did. Watch how this guy breaks this thing down.
Lead and only 84 days until the November 5th election. We're running the numbers.
What did he say? I set y'all up. Check it out. I guess we can start with the hands in a pyramid style and go from there, right? Do we know where we're going, allegedly? Watch this. I want you to listen very carefully, right?
We're back with the 2024 lead and only 84 days until the November 5th election. We're running the numbers.
How many days did he say? 84, right? 84 days. That's what I thought. Watch this.
On this race. And you take a look at the 2020 map. What were the states that mattered more than anything else? Well, Joe.
Now, let me give you the backstory on this. Back in the day, Joe won electoral college 36 votes. Trump had 232. The difference in those numbers is 74. Trump just had to be 74 years old at the time. What are the odds? It will be interesting, very interesting to find out what the numbers will be on 11/5. Will you be glued to that TV? I'll be glued to the TV because I really watch it. And my internet. And man, if it's anything like it was 4 years ago, I have to take a cat nap in between 2 hours to find out who really won. But yeah, this is for all the marbles, people. Battleground ain't playing. Here we go.
Biden flipped the state of Georgia, flipped the state of Arizona, but more than anything else, what Joe Biden did is he flipped back the blue wall into Democratic hands. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Why did that matter? Well, let's flip back to 2016. You see all three of those states were red. Georgia also in Trump's column, Arizona as well. So what does that mean going forward? Well, if you want to watch the two campaigns, they'll tell you a lot about what's happening right now. And here's what I mean. Let's take a look at our race to 270. This would be the map if Kamala Harris won all of the states that Joe Biden won in 2020. This would be where things stand, holding on to the blue wall. If you're the Trump campaign, Pennsylvania is absolutely critical. It's why you've seen the former president go there. It's why J.D. Vance will be there later in the week. It's why you'll see a lot of spending as well. Why is it so critical?
So the strategy is go to the areas where you're weak at. And at the same time, all those states where you can find questionable situations like the residency question of Kennedy, try it and see what you can gain out of it. People, as you watch this thing from day to day, week to week, month to month, remember, there is a lot at stake here. You are going to see things that you have never, ever seen. Things that will be questioned, things which will be thrown out, things that will just come up and you're like, wow. And yeah, the bottom line is get the numbers. Get the numbers. And I might add, like Malcolm X said back in the day, when he was talking about his situation, by any means necessary. So let me know what you think. Is this guy a victim right now? Is he a victim? Or is he just playing his role, playing like he's the victim? Because he knows, allegedly, that, at some point, he either going to be affected or he'll allegedly sell out and toss his hat to the Democratic Party. I told you, get ready for it. Get ready for any and everything. Because if you make him weak enough, will he make a choice? Think about it. If you make him weak enough that he's not even effective to be a spoiler, who will he toss his hat to? Well, you just might find out what he was really about in the first place. All spoilers don't work independently. Some of them work for somebody else, allegedly. Hint, hint. My name is Franchise Pierce. If you like the work, please subscribe, thumbs up. And let me know what you think in the comments section. Again, if you live in New York, does it really matter where your residence is and has been the last few years? Let me know. God bless.